Hey, what's happening everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you as always for being here. Listen, I almost pressed the record button and I did not have my hat on. I was looking at myself like I have my little screen so I can see like what you're seeing, and I was like, something's off and I don't like it. But I don't, listen, if I've answered it before, but in case you're ever wondering, I just don't like what I look like without a hat on. So that's why there's always a hat on. Anyways, Peter Hammill in camera. We're moving on to the next track, which is Tapeworm. That's what we're going to be listening to. There's some scary videos out there of tapeworms, especially like when you pull them out. Oh, anyways, so let's not dwell on that, but let us go ahead and dwell on Mr. Hammill. And of course, we will talk about it after. Here we go, guys. He's rocking. Great chords on the piano. This is the best track on the album so far. This is awesome. That's so dramatic. I know that when I listen to Peter Hammill or Van de Graaff Generator or anything related, I know it's always going to be an adventure. I know there's always going to be splashes of excitement and adrenaline mixed with a lot of deeper meanings, sometimes brooding lyrics, poetry. There's just going to be so much. And this track is a stunner. This is the track that I know we're only 3 in, but this is so far the best on the album. Guy Evans is on the drums, as if you couldn't tell. What do we need to say about his drumming except that it's magnificent? The fills that he brings in, the off-color grooves that he dives into is such aggressiveness, but there's also a melodic rhythm side to it in the way that he approaches. I think it's so incredible listening to him drumming here, especially in a song as intense as this. And yet, as intense as it is, there's still a lot of lightness to it. There's still, to me, a bit of airiness about it. Peter is definitely moving towards his more dramatic and rockier side here, which I love. I like how at this point in the album, we're getting that side in full spades. I really like that middle section, the break, where we just have Hamill's voice overdub, echoing with himself, almost to me like a Yes-like vocal section, just overdubbing and bouncing back and forth on himself, rebounding against these walls, and then there's that dramatic pause, that silence, and then it breaks right back into everything. His guitar playing as well is very, very intense. I love how that lead, especially in the beginning, and we get it throughout as well, is very fiery, just cutting through everything. I mean, to me, I think that listening to this album so far is solidifying Peter Hammill as not just a brilliant lyricist, not just as a brilliant singer, but now we're kind of diving into more of the musician side. Obviously, we hear more of the musician side when he's playing in Van de Graaff Generator and other places and the other solo albums we've listened to. But I'm feeling a little bit of a fiery passion, if you will. I'm feeling something new, renewed perhaps, in this album so far, and I think very much exemplified by this particular track. Let's look at the lyrics though for Tapeworm. When I was a child, they made me to read word daggers of quiver and squirm. Now in the stumbling dark I see I am a worm silently fruiting your garden. My sister, my child, night cast ominous meanings on the purity of the soul, of my soul. I feel devilish leanings, I'm beginning to lose control. And the vortex sucks me in, steeped in sin I die, but am reborn. So there's a few kind of references in here. We get a spiritual reference, we have kind of sexual references in some ways, but throughout all this, he's talking about, this is how I'm reading it, growing up. He was made to read certain books, certain things, and it says that they quivered and squirmed, and now he's stumbling in the dark, but he sees and he realizes what he is. At least metaphorically, he references himself as a worm, silently fruiting your garden. Whose garden? That's where I kind of get the sexual part from. But I read it more in the sense of he's finding himself a worm in the world, adding, and like he says, fruiting their garden. Somehow. Like just being, what's the word? Like just another cog in the machine. That's a good one. And then he's beginning to lose control, and he says, steeped in sin I die, but through some means he's reborn. I want to see the cosmos slip, planets and moons collide, feel gravity losing its grip. This is where the physicist side of him is coming out. It's all inside, all the dead husks are shattered, my lifeblood, my world ripped apart. In the laughter of space, it's all chaff blown out and lost. Now I am making the pace. Although I don't know what tape I'll cross, and it's maybe catastrophe. When I cross the line, I know that I will find myself, or maybe you. So he doesn't quite know the direction in which he's heading. All he's doing is following the momentum, following the inertia that it's been given to him. And it's in this particular race that he's finding himself reborn. He doesn't know what the end will be. He doesn't know if the finish line will be victorious or, like he says, catastrophe. But he knows that when he does cross that line, he will find whatever that truth may be. I am a man from the country of destruction. I am a man, a woman, and a god. I am my own weapon of kamikaze, and will one day cut through the hidden knot. And that's where that kind of echoey solo section is there, and that's what he's saying there. So once again, he is all things to himself, and one day he will find the truth. Feed me honey and watch me rise to the bait lying on the knife. If you let me, I can hypnotize your life. It's all really so simple. My lover, my twin, hand in hand, sprinting down the highway, running over the edge, down and down into our doomsday. There is no saving ledge, nor outgrown shrub. Is this the way, out in a blaze of glory? Someday I'll find the answer, someday I'll end the story. So I really like that visual of racing towards a cliff, and he says, there's no saving ledge, there's nothing to grab onto once you are about to go over the edge, but then also there's no outgrown shrub. Like, like especially in movies and cartoons, like a character goes off the cliff and as they're falling, they grab on somehow to like this little shrub that's reaching out, this little branch, and somehow that holds them. Like there's nothing. There's not even a last effort to save him from this catastrophe. But at the same time, as he says, he will find the answer and one day he will end the story. Now, all of that, what does it have to do with tapeworm? A tapeworm is a parasite of sorts, right? Something that feeds off of a host. So I believe that perhaps he is feeding off of the host of life or of the world or of mortality. I don't know. It's a great track, though. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. You can follow me over on Twitter, support the channel on Patreon. Thank you so much for being here. Come on back tomorrow, and I will see you all then, guys. Bye.